I was raised in Norwalk, Ohio, and I went to the First Presbyterian Church downtown and had these fabulous stained glass windows. And so that really drew me. My grandmother was a ceramicist and painter. When I was 5, 6, or 7, I was doing kiln work. And my grandmother, she used to love it. I think it was for drama. She would wake me in the middle of the night. It'd be like 3 or 4 o'clock, and she'd say, let's go to the studio and see how those glazes are turning out. And then she would crack the oven in 2,000 degrees and just knock you out. Dark room. And so she'd say, look, Charles, look at that, look at that. I do much the same thing what I did when I was a kid. So we do that every morning. We open up the kiln, see what happened the day before. My other grandfather had a balloon factory, repaired and designed all the equipment there. Casey Stengel used to say that when he managed the Mets. He says, they say, what's your main job as a manager? He says, stay out of the way. Here, all these molds right here are hand blacksmith. These molds were made with a hammer and an anvil. And they were done. A lot of these are from the 1830s and 1840s, and they were made by John Morgan, who was Welsh, and they had a 4th generation glass bending facility in Williamsburg, Brooklyn. And so I got all of these molds. The beauty of this business is people can come in here and need a piece of bent glass, and chances are we're gonna have the tooling. This is the small oven, and this is where we bend much of the lighting work. This is where we bend all the work for Urban Electric. So we bend glass in here. We're doing it about 1150, 1200 Fahrenheit. But once the glass is bent, then we put it in this annealer. And the glass is bent, we put it in the annealer, we take the tooling out, and it becomes a little cycle. Depending on the size of the glass, of the bowl, or whatever we're bending, we'll bend 4 or 5 pieces of big bowls, or we'll bend 150 small bowls. I welded this together. I built this kiln back in '86. I didn't know how to weld, but I bought a little arc welder and learned to weld and built that oven. I remember in the early '80s, my brother and I were talking about the idea of me starting this business, and there were so many successful stained glass shops in Manhattan, and I didn't want to compete against them. And then we realized that the only possibility that we hadn't thought of was failure, and then we laughed because it was so acceptable.